Let's hit it. It's going to be the simple $3K a month AI business model that you can do as a side hustle. Let's get right into it. All right. The whole premise is going to be built on us doing what, right? Selling AI built websites to small businesses, right? So the best business model that I've ever been involved in has been doing local marketing, doing advertising for local small businesses. It just hands down has beat everything. E-com, affiliate marketing, it doesn't matter what I've tried. This just has always beat it. And short-term, long-term, consistency, simplicity, it just has always worked. Okay. So all we've done now is evolved with the times, and now we're leveraging AI to make things even easier. Right. And so we have a core group, a handful of marketing services that we will provide to small businesses and get paid for that, because they all want to advertise. They all want more customers, and advertising is the way to do that. Okay. Now, advertising isn't always front of mind when it comes to businesses. And so what we want to do, and all we've done now, our strategy has just pivoted over the years, has just adjusted over the years. And now we just kind of pivot for our lead-in offer, the thing that we start the conversation with. We've geared it to be along the lines more of something business owners have front of mind than advertising services, right? And so that is websites, right? And it's because of these few things here that we have no problem leveraging AI to use to build websites and use that as our foot in the door. Okay, first and foremost, it's something every business owner thinks they need and or they want, which is perfect. Okay, it's one of the first things that they think of when they start their business. After they decide their business name, their idea, they're like, all right, one of the first things in their to-do list is get a website built so people know their business exists, right? That's the thought process. Whereas it's actually advertising that lets people know that their business exists. However, the website is kind of their anchor that lets people know that they are a physical business that exists. And so that gives it the advantage over marketing services. Whereas marketing services, advertising, there's a lot of businesses that understand advertising is something that they probably need to do, but not all business owners think and or plan for advertising services right away. A lot of times it comes after the fact they've opened and they're like, oh geez, no customers are coming. I should maybe start advertising. It's a lot of times an afterthought amongst all the other excitement and cool things that happen when someone gets an idea to start a business. They do all this planning and how they want the store to look and how they want this and that, but one of the things they just don't budget for or plan is advertising. A lot of them, not all of them. But something 99.9% of them all do is plan on a website. Okay. So we're just going to get the conversation started with that. And we don't care if they have one or not. Okay. We'll talk about that in a second. Now, if we were going to be building websites from scratch, like the good old days, it wouldn't be a great offer to start with. It wouldn't be a great thing to get the conversation going, because we're going to use what's called a results first strategy, which means we're going to provide a result first and then ask for money. So the last thing we want to be doing is building websites from scratch to everyone that we talk to, which could take weeks or months or whatever if we were doing it the old way. Well, because of AI, right, we can create a website in minutes, which is pretty cool. Okay, so that allows us to fulfill this very, very, very easy. So it's not a burden. So it's a great thing because we have this thing that every single business owner needs and or wants, and it's super easy to put together and build for them, okay, and provide that service to them. And then the last part of it is we want to use something as our conversation starter that can be priced cheaply compared to the perceived value, what people think it costs. Well, because on average, websites have cost $5,000 to $10,000 just in the history of websites. Okay. it's really, really nice, or it makes it really nice for us, really easy for us to come in with a better price than that because of the amount of work that it takes for us to do this. We can come in cheaper than that, but it doesn't erase the fact that most business owners think a website is expensive, or they're used to just hearing quotes or seeing people pay $5,000 to $10,000. That's just in the history. That's kind of what a traditional small business website has cost. Okay, so we're going to use websites to kick off that process because it meets all that criteria. And then this is what the process is. Okay, we're going to use that as our foot in the door, as our conversation starter. We are going to build a demo site for the business and use that as a conversation starter. Now, again, we don't care if they already have a website or not. I alluded to this earlier, because simply put, we don't know if someone is looking to redo their website or not. Okay, it's like seeing a car driving down the street. You have no idea, no matter what you think of the car, you have no idea if the person inside is happy with that car, if they're already shopping to upgrade or trade in for a different car. You have no idea. It's no different than websites. But the cool thing is we know every business values a website. It's one of the first things they do. And so when a lot of them get one going early, doesn't mean they even have the best budget for it, but they got to get one put up. So they've either built it themselves using some kind of weird builder or something, and maybe they have no idea what they're doing. They just threw something together to get it up there, or they had to scrape together some dollars to get one together, pay someone, or, get a cousin of a friend of a friend's sister to do it for them because they knew someone, and they're not happy, or they got going and their business has changed or grown and their website doesn't reflect that. There's all these scenarios that we have no idea. So we don't care if they have a website or not. It's just to get the conversation started. The cool thing is if they just happen to be interested in our website because it will look good, it will look professional, then cool, awesome. We just keep down that path. Worst case scenario, they're really, really, really happy with their website, and then we just pivot to talking about our marketing services because we already got the conversation started. Okay. Now, when we come in with this offer, we're going to use what we call the 50-50 website arbitrage deal to sell the website. And then ultimately, once we deliver the final version of the website, we're going to sell other services. And this is it. This is the results first strategy. We're not going to be like everyone else and talk about what we could do. We're actually going to show them what we can do and let the results do the talking, and then, close the rest of the deals. We're going to be different than everyone else. Okay. Now, what is the 50-50 website arbitrage deal? Okay. Well, first and foremost, our pricing, I already talked about this. Our pricing is going to slide anywhere from $500 to $3,000, right? I have an arrow here above 500 because that's typically what you're just going to start with when you're brand new, just getting started, because you don't have confidence. You don't have confidence this is going to work, or you're not confident you can sell, or list any excuse or obstacle or whatever thing that pops in people's heads when they first get started. Look, understand, cool. The good thing is we already know websites go for around $5,000 to $10,000 on average. They have in the history. It's not some made up number. It's just a range of prices that they typically have gone for. So we can comfortably and confidently ask for $500 for a website. Now, ideally, we want to sell this anywhere between $500 to $3,000. Okay, there's people selling these for like $5,000 to $7,000. Okay, however, we want to use this as a foot in the door, and we're just going to use this to get our business going and get our confidence going and all that. So just start at 500. Once you sell 500 a couple times, then bump it to 1,000, and then once you sell that website at 1,000 a couple times, bump it to 1,500. And so on and so forth until you find your sweet spot where you get enough yeses that you're satisfied with that price, and it gets you in the door and able to sell other services. Okay. So start at 500 and go from there. There's no right or wrong answer there. Okay. That is typically going to be a one-time sale, and this is how we're going to structure it. Right. We are going to ask for 50% upfront, no matter what it is, whether it's 500 or 3,000, or you're selling for 10. It doesn't matter. We're going to use this deal because this is a way for them to pay, and you get money up front, but them not feeling worried or feeling in any other kind of weird way that they've paid all this money and they don't have anything yet, right? So this allows them to pay you money and feel good about it, and allows you to receive money without having delivered the service and feel good about it. Okay. This originated back in the day, in my early agency days, where I actually had AI didn't exist. And I actually had a real person on my team that would build these 5-page small business WordPress websites that we found a good local business theme, and we just packaged it up for different home service type businesses and whatnot. And basically I would sell them for $2,500. I would collect half of that up front, $1,250. My web designer guy would build them for $500 to $600. So I'd get the $1,250, give the $500 to $600 to him, put the rest in my pocket. He'd build it, do the work, and then on delivery, I'd get the remaining $1,250, which I put all in my pocket. Okay, and that's how I structured the deal, to allow me not to have to pay any business expenses out of pocket. I didn't want to have to pay my web designer out of my pocket to wait for payment. So did a 50-50 deal to make it really easy for me to be profitable day one, not have to worry about business expenses, and then have a solid deal structure in place to make it easy to close deals and then ultimately sell marketing services. So all we're doing now is adjusting this to AI. Our AI websites, and the beautiful thing is we don't have to pay anyone else to do it. We can just do it by typing in a simple prompt into our AI website builders. Okay, so super easy. Okay, the meat of the middle of the structure was actually delivering the website, getting the website done and delivering it. Okay, we will do that in 2 rounds of revisions. All right. The reason why we're going to structure it like this is to provide some kind of organization and structure to this deal, and to make us sound more professional, but also to save us from nitpicky little changes here, nonstop back and forth. It's to save a lot of back and forth and to make the deal more structured and professional. Okay. That's the easy way to say it. So we will structure the revisions in 2 rounds. The first round will be layout. Okay. That is the exact number, do we have the right number of pages? Do we want we're going to have a contact form on the left side or the right side? Do we want button down here or over there? How the features and the functionality and layout of the site is the first thing. What we don't worry about here is content. We don't worry about what the words say. What does it say about the services? But we do care, does it have a services page? Or is it just going to list the services on the front? Like, what's the layout going to look like? That's what we care about. That's what we deal with in the first round of revisions. It's all those kind of changes. So we're not dealing with 20,000 things at one time. Okay. Are we going to want the logo on the left side and the website links on the right? Or is it we want the website links going across the straight, centered across the top, or that kind of stuff? Okay. That's what the layout is. Those are done. And how are those done? Right? Hey, Jason, I'm not technical. Well, cool. We're just going to use AI. We're going to have it build the site. And then when they give us these revisions that they want done, we're going to copy and paste them into the website builder and let it just do its thing. Okay. Once that first round of revisions is done, it's about sending those changes over, or sending an updated version of the site, having them look at it, really, because you would already have given them a link. They'll just refresh and it'll be updated. Okay. Once, say, yep, we did all these changes. The next round of revisions is the actual content. What do we want the website to say? Okay. That's the actual, what is this page supposed to say? What is the headline, the copywriting and stuff going to be saying? Okay. And again, based on what they want, copy, paste, get those updated, and then we're done. Could be images also, or making sure the logo, having the logo and stuff put up. The first round of revisions was, where's the logo going to be? Where's the placeholder? And then Second round of revisions would be getting the logo there. So content is all the second piece, updating the phone number, making sure all that stuff's correct. And then, hey, refresh the page. They look, yep, it's all there. Then it's done. Okay, the website is done. Now 50%, the remaining 50% of the deal is sent over to you. And that's it. That's how it works. That's simple structure. Okay. Now something could be done as a follow-on. Okay. This is an optional thing or a popular, an optional thing. It is popular with some people of charging a monthly maintenance type investment or fee, if you will, as an ongoing after the final website delivery. And what that typically involves would be X number of updates allowed and, providing technical support, making sure that the website doesn't go down and hosting and all that. Okay. That I've seen ranged anywhere from from $10 a month all the way to $500 a month. Okay. I would keep it very subtle and something that's not some major impact. Because what I really want is I want to get a bunch of marketing services, right? A couple $1,000s a month worth. And so I don't want this website maintenance fee to be distracting from that. Okay. But that is an option, right? And a sample might be, look, and ongoing, it's going to be $20 a month. And that's going to include up to 3 updates. Like, hey, if you want to replace out an image, or if there's some kind of update on the blog or something you want to do, or maybe if there's a blog and you want to provide a blog post every month or something, whatever, some kind of content update or something, up to 3 a month or something. Plus making sure that the site hosting for the site and making sure everything's good. That's a sample. Okay. Another thing that you can do, and I used to do this on my original deal, is I would include 30 days of marketing after website delivery. Okay. Now what I used to do, I'd do something like a PPC campaign, something like that, something that I can get some kind of impact, some kind of result. And all it allowed me to do is it gave me permission to start marketing for them to bridge after website delivery, to transition them into monthly marketing clients. Because it allowed me to start the conversation because I was doing marketing for them already. I said, all right, now cool. Now to extend this and keep this going, here's the thing. It just allowed the transition much easier versus doing it cold, right? So in this example though, present times, I wouldn't be trying to do PPC or anything like that. I would offer something like review management, because again, most of these businesses, they already exist. They already had websites, right? But even if they didn't, it doesn't mean that they haven't had any kind of customers or anything. So I might be able to do review management campaign where they can get some online reviews. That's an instant kind of thing. Or even better, a message marketing campaign where I do a text and email marketing campaign. I would just do that for free as results first. No different than if I was just starting off with message marketing. I'd probably offer a trial and do a campaign for free. Well, that's all I'm doing here. I'm just tacking it on to the end of a website delivery where I've already made money, right? And the cool thing about that is, again, that's pretty much instant results. And now I have a great reason to say, hey, look, it's just $297 a month to keep this thing going, to do this every single month. And, that's not all I do. We can also do some other things too. We can talk about that helps grow that list so that money gets bigger every single month. It's an easy pivot into marketing services when I'm already offering something. If I don't do any kind of deal like that, where I'm already throwing in an extra a month of marketing after website delivery, it's still an easy pivot. It's still just me saying, all right, well, cool. Well, there you go. So look, out of curiosity, now the website's done. What are you all doing to get new customers in the door? What are you doing to get eyeballs on that website? And then you just hear what they say. And then whether they say they're doing something or not, it doesn't really matter. You say, okay, well, cool. Well, look, I do all kinds of things to help you get new eyeballs on the website, new customers coming through the door. If you're free tomorrow at 2 p.m., why don't we hop on? You can share a little bit more details about what it is you're doing. And I can share everything that I can do because I have other things. I do have a array of services that can do a lot of different things to make those results. And I can just share what those are, and we can go from there. Does that sound good? Just a real easy pivot, just a real easy, smooth pivot. Okay. Because then it now opens up the door once I've delivered this site to sell these things. Right. And when it comes to AI, or when it comes to services, I have email and text marketing, right? Lead generation, that could be Facebook ads, Google ads, search engine optimization. I mentioned review management as well. These are things that I can inject AI into, but more importantly, they're focused on getting the business more customers, more sales, more exposure, all the things that a business would want. Okay. I also have the opportunity, depending if I get into this or not, I have AI people, right? I have AI receptionists. I have AI workflows and whatnot that I can add on and talk about as additional things that I can offer. But the website is the gateway drug, if you will. The website is the door, is the opening of the door that allows this to happen. Okay. It's an easy pivot. It's an easy transition. And that's what's going to take my revenue to the next level, because I get the initial sale anywhere from $500 to $3,000. Just that's a one-time pop. Okay. And then when I add on other things, my reoccurring revenue on top of the initial sale and continues month after month after month can range anywhere easy between $500 to $2,500 based on how many services that they get. Okay. So I can easily take someone that, I got a $500 initial sale on, and then next thing you know, I have $2,500 a month in reoccurring services going on. Or again, maybe my website price, I've worked it up, and now my sweet spot is $2,500. So I make $2,500 website sales when I do. And then when I do, I end up tacking on another $1,000 a month in reoccurring revenue and marketing services, right? Over the course of a year, that's nearly $15,000 for just one client, $15,000. Okay. There's a lot of people that make $30,000 to $45,000 a year. So I get 2 or 3 clients with that same setup, and I'm making basically $40,000 a year, right? Just from 3 clients. So it's not hard to see why this business creates a lot of people making 5 figures a month, because I can get 5 clients and make 5 figures a month, right? 6 clients for sure. That's barely, you can work with 6 people on the entire planet. That's it. Your whole business can work with 6 people on the entire planet, and you could be making 6 figures a year. And the amount of work that you would do in a work week is significantly insignificant compared to what you would work at a full-time job. So you can literally do this as a side hustle if you really wanted to, and still work your day job and potentially be making more money doing this than at your day job. Okay. Or do like a lot of people do, and you work your way out of your day job and simply do this full time and get closer to 10 clients, right? Or more, right? And that's the process. Okay. Now, where do we find these clients? All right. We've talked about this in the past. Where do we go? Well, I talked about how we don't necessarily know there's people who need or want a new website. We just don't know it. We can't look at a website and tell. But there are places we can go where they are literally already asking for help, where they're already raising their hand saying, I need a new website, or I want a new website, or I don't have a website, I need one. Okay. Those are places that we call computers reach spots, computers reach sites. And that's stuff like Upwork, Freelancer, Guru.com. Upwork is typically the biggest one, unless there's something else out there now that I'm not aware of, but that's typically the bigger one at the moment. But there's other sites there as well that people go, and from around the world, 24/7, people are posting, asking for help, asking for websites. So we don't even have to guess whether they need a new website or not. we don't even have to ask them. They are literally raising their hand, screaming for someone to help them. And they already have money because those sites require them to put up money before they can even post their job. So it eliminates all the guesswork. So that's probably where I'm going to start. I'm going to build a foundation of going to those sites on a daily basis to check what has recently been posted, to see what opportunities are there. Okay. And then I have other other spots I can go where there's an easy chance to get easy way to get a conversation going. Okay. And that would be Google Maps is an easy way to do that. Okay. I can go and I can look in profiles that don't have a website listed in their profile listing. Okay. That typically means Google just didn't see it when they were scraping the internet, just didn't find that data, or the website name is different than the business name. And so Google didn't associate it with it. Either way, I don't really care. Even if all's I seen by searching, say, plumbers in Miami, even if every profile I seen had a website, it doesn't matter. I can reach out to them anyway, because it doesn't even matter. I'm just trying to get a conversation started. Okay. But there are some profile listings that don't have websites listed, and those are an easy way to get the conversation started. Either way, that is a process that I would add on only after I got consistent with the first method, which is the easiest method, which makes sense, right? These are people already asking for help. I don't have to convince them. I don't even have to sell. I just got to say I can do it. Okay. And so what the process is I'm going to find the opportunity, build a demo website using AI, close the deal using 50-50 arbitrage, and then upsell other things, right? And it's just that over and over and over again. That is it. That is all I do. I do this until the end of time. And I don't have to invent new things to do in the business. I don't have to think about, well, what other things can I sell? I can literally just keep doing this one business strategy, following this process, and never inject anything new into it. And I can take this and make money as a side hustle or grow this into a full-time business. Really quick, let's just look at a couple of these pieces and what they look like. Okay. I'm going to grab Upwork, and then I will, let me turn into a freelancer. Okay. And then I will go to Lovable. I'll share my screen here so we can see what this looks like. Dashboard. Okay, there's that. And then I'll even show us how to do a new proposal for it. Okay. All right. Let me share. Okay. All right. So all I would need to do is I can search here. Let's do web design. Okay, let it do its thing. And I would just sort by most recent and look at the most recent ones. But this is what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for jobs that have website design, asking for website design. Need a website for a company I'm building, real estate, maybe it's developer or something. It just says real estate. But this would be a project I could potentially just bid on. I'm just looking for this simple stuff. Okay. Elderly friendly sites. That's whatever. Home plan design site. So there's an opportunity here. I don't care about, here's an internet. Let's just do this one. This sounds fun. Internet cafe, tourist info. Okay. All I'm looking for is just jobs like this. Things where they're literally just asking for a website. Like I don't want anything complicated. I don't want it to sound like I need some engineering degree. I just want people, I just looking for jobs that literally just say, I'm looking for a web designer. I need a new website. That's simple communication until I get more comfortable, and then I can start expanding and looking at other things. For now, I just want to keep it easy. I also don't care about the budget, because the budget is something that most of these businesses don't even know what to put, but they have to put one for each project. So there's a lot of businesses, they don't have a budget. They don't know how much it's going to cost. They're hoping that the expert will tell them, but they have to put something. So they'll just put anything. Sometimes they put it real low. Sometimes they put it super high. In the end, it doesn't matter. I'm just looking for the project information. As long as the project matches, I'm still going to ask for whatever it is I want, whether it's 500, 1,000. And how does that work? Well, Jason, if they say, $30 an hour, and I'm trying to sell it for $500, how's that going to work? Because the way this works is whenever someone bids on a project, once people post a project and people start bidding on it, they will be looking at the bids, and then they will end up reading all the little proposal things and whatnot. And they will start reaching out to the people that they're interested in working with. They'll literally just message you. Okay. And it usually always starts the same way. Hey, you bid on my project. I wanted to talk to you. I just had a few questions. And they're going to ask you some random, whatever questions they want to ask. How long do you think it would take you to do this? And blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's during that time that you would give them the actual price. Yeah. This is absolutely something I can do. I can have this completely done with you, for you within a week's time, depending on how ready you are to provide updates and whatnot. And you time to gather what information you want to give to me or need for the project. And my price is it's $500. So I'll deliver the whole website to you for $500. That's how it works. And they're going to say yes or no. And if they say, yep, yeah, sounds good, they'll hire you and adjust the budget. Okay. So really, really, really simple. Okay. And then all I'm doing though is every day I'm just looking for opportunities like this, bidding on them, and just keep going until people start reaching out to me. And then when those people reach out to me, I get in the conversations, and eventually one of those people will award me the project. And then guess what? And then I'll get a second project, and then the third one. And that's how it just works. It doesn't necessarily happen every single day. It doesn't even happen every single week or even every single month, but it doesn't matter. Who cares if every other month I close a $500 website deal and end up racking up $1,000 a month of client reoccurring services? And that happens every other month, once a quarter. It all stacks up. Okay. So all I have to do is stay consistent, because I have a process that works. Okay. That's the hardest part, finding a process that works. Then you just consistently do it. Okay. Now, what it would look like to build a site, something like this. Okay. Let's just, I'm just going to copy this part. Basically, I'm going to take it to the website builder, which we're going to use Lovable for this, and just give it the information it needs for the website. Okay. Like the project is part-time and expected to last 1 to 3 months. I don't care about that. The website builder does. It's the equivalent of me talking to a web designer. Okay. Would I say that to them? Hey, I need you to build this site for this internet cafe and tourist info website. By the way, it's part-time and expected to last 1 to 3. I wouldn't say that. I would just say, build the damn thing for me, right? So that's all I'm going to do here. So I'm going to go to Lovable. I'm going to paste, before I paste the project, I'm going to say, I need a website built based on the following project. And then paste it. Okay. Now, because I don't know where they need this tourist or like what place, I'm just going to say, I'm actually just going to pick a site. You normally wouldn't have to do this. I would just build it, because it's actually specifically tourist info. I want to give it a place to build this site based on. We build the website based on Waikiki, Hawaii. I just want to give it a place so that has, or else it'll ask me and I won't know. And I'd rather it not be so generic that I'd rather give it an actual physical place. Again, I normally wouldn't care. Like if it was a dentist, I would have just said, build it. I wouldn't care like, oh, it needs to be in Colorado. I wouldn't have cared. I only care because it's talking about a tourist site. I just want to give the builder, again, I'm talking to my web builder in the office. I'm just going to simply say, use Hawaii, like Waikiki. Just do something in Waikiki, Hawaii until they tell us exactly where they want to build it. But that'll give us structure for the site. That's it. I'm just going to do that. Okay. And I'm going to submit it. All right. And then, so what it does now, Lovable is just going to take that information. It's like me giving the information to a web designer. It's just going to do its thing. Okay. And so what they've injected now more is sometimes they'll ask questions in case there's preferences. Okay. So it might say, hey, what kind of design? Do you like any of these templates? What's really cool is if I still just want AI to do all the work and I don't have the guidance yet from the, because remember, I'm just doing this as a demo. I'm not trying to get the perfect site that I send it to them is like, oh, I hope they really like it and just buy this site. No, all I'm trying to do is get them to like what I've done and given them so that they'll hire me and then they'll give me the information that they want to have on the actual site, what they actually want the site to look like. Okay. I'm just giving them something, a result. See, this is like, hey, which design should I build? Let's see, what do we like here? Maybe I'll do, see, this is an example. I could just skip it, but I'm just gonna, you know what? I like this. Let's just do that. Select that. Again, I don't have to make that choice. I can let AI do all I want, all at once. But again, all I'm trying to do is give them, I like to say, I'm giving them the 90% solution. I'm getting them something that they can say, oh yeah, I kind of like this. Yeah, I can picture having a site like this and my business being this and that. And yeah, I kind of like this. Oh, I would maybe change. I want them to, in that mindset of them kind of taking ownership of it a bit, I like to say, where they're picturing their business in that site. It's like they're trying it on, right? They're picturing themselves in that business. It's them kind of gaining ownership of it, meaning that'll be, they're claiming it already kind of as their own. So it's harder for them to say no to it versus everyone else who's just saying, oh yeah, I can build a beautiful site. Here's a portfolio. I've been a web designer for 5 years and I'm showing them all these random BS sites. I've actually built something that they actually are asking for. I built exactly what they're looking for. So I've eliminated the need to worry about a portfolio. Well, have you ever built a site? I literally am giving them a site. It would be idiotic for them to ask me for a demo site because I literally am giving them one, right? So it eliminates the need for any kind of past portfolio, all that stuff. But I'm also standing out because I'm not telling them what I could do and them having to picture in their mind like, okay, well, this guy did a plumbing site before. I mean, I guess I kind of like that design, but I don't know how that feels with me. I'm eliminating all that. I'm like showing them the actual thing. Okay. So this is me standing out on multiple levels and using a very powerful selling strategy during the initial proposal process. Now, when it comes to proposal, I can easily and simply use AI to even create that for me. Okay. And it would just take minutes. And then once I do these and keep doing these, AI would get smarter and better and I can use anything. Here's ChatGPT and I would just say something like this. I need a proposal for the following Upwork project. They didn't mention a location, but I wanted to build a demo site, so I used YE as for the demo site. I want to highlight the demo site in my proposal versus telling them what I could do for them. And then I'm just going to paste it. And then while that's building, matter of fact, I just build. Oh yeah. So let's share this tab. Here's my site. My demo site. Beautiful. Look at this. All kinds of cool things. This weekend in like it's giving me all this awesome stuff. Now look at this. Book a tour. Scrolling menu. Stop by the hub. All this awesome stuff. There's a newsletter. Like I send this link, which all I gotta do is hit publish. It's gonna give me a URL, or I can add a custom domain. I'm gonna put this link in my proposal, which is probably already done now. But I'm gonna send this to them. They're gonna open this up and see this versus everyone else saying what they could do. I'm gonna be giving them this thing. And holy cow, if you don't think, look at this, 12, if you don't think they'll be excited about this and how awesome this looks, just as a demo thing of what you could do, then you're crazy. This is awesome. Okay. And now, where's it at? Share this tab. And then look, I have my proposal already built. Boom. And I can adjust this. I can adjust any of the things. If there's something I didn't like, when it comes to the proposal, I just want to make sure, does it sound all right? Does it sound good? Is there anything I really wanted to say? I can make sure I can just copy and paste it in. I can adjust it right then, or I can tell it to redo it, or I can do whatever I want. When it comes to the site, remember, I just want a 90% solution. I don't need this to be perfect. I'm definitely not going to be doing something like, oh, well, I want this image to be moved up like a half an inch. Like, no. This looks fine. This looks good. This is a 90% solution. Unless something's completely jacked up, I'm doing as little work as possible. I want this to be like just something that gives them an idea of what I could do. It's perfect. Now, if one of these images was a robot, breakdancing or something, I may say, hey, this change out image under Essential Waikiki section, or under the Diamond Head Summit image, change that to something more Hawaii, not get rid of the robot thing. That's the kind of thing I would change. This kind of stuff right here, I would not change any of this stuff. Okay. And then I submit the proposal, and then I move on to the next one. I just keep doing this, and I'm just going to keep looking at the projects that are new for the day, bid on all the ones I'm going to bid on, and then I go on about my day. So it's perfect if I work full time and have, multiple jobs and multiple obligations, because this is 24/7. By the way, everything I just showed you is free. Okay. Upwork is free to get an account going and start bidding on projects. ChatGPT is definitely free, and Lovable has a free plan. I can build 2 to 3 sites a day for free. And then each of these have paid plans. I can upgrade, and they're usually less than, they're usually around, for each of these 3 platforms. The next upgrade of a plan is $20 to $30, I think, somewhere in there per month. So we're not even talking about if I needed to upgrade that oh my goodness, I got to go get a bank loan and I can't afford, we're talking like dollars to freaking go to the next upgrade. And again, I'm selling these things for anywhere from $500 to $3,000 just up front. Okay. So in the end, this business is super easy to get going on the side. Even if it takes a slow time, it's easy to build. It's easy to do. There's nothing complicated about what I just showed you. And even if it's complicated for me to wrap my head around the tech of the actual services and stuff, I can literally partner up with people in the meantime. Let them do the services. I'm still going to get a cut of them, but I'm just paying a portion out. It's like the website arbitrage. I get paid for the website. I take a little bit of that money, give it to the web developer, and put it in my pocket. That's how I used to do it. It's no different with services, right? If I'm able to sell message marketing, but I don't want to do it, or I don't have the tech know-how, or any of that other crazy stuff, the time, okay, cool. I can still charge for it, collect the money, and give a portion, and maybe that's 50%, but it doesn't matter because I'm not doing anything for it. I'm giving money to the person who's doing it, and I'm putting all the rest of the profit in my pocket. Okay. So I've sold a website, and now I'm getting monthly profits off of services that I'm not even doing, which allows me to still work my full-time job and have all these other family obligations and friend obligations or life obligations that I'm doing without it impacting me. And I can still do this part-time. Okay. Until I'm ready to bump it up and maybe do something full-time with this, but I have that option. Okay. And it's just that over and over and over and over again. All right.